You are watching a presentation of Soccer Night in Detroit.
Welcome. It's me, Hannah Crum, with two legends.
Okay, me, Steve.
And Mad Cat.
And that cat.
This guy right here. Every time you score, he has to play this song for you every time, every single time.
David, I believe in Derek.
Let's go. All right, we are back with another edition of the Musings. Big breaking news coming up over the last couple of days since we last met you over at Keyworth. Big sign.
On Monday I was minding my own business, going to see the Billie Eilish concert film, Hit Me Hard, Hurt Me Soft, and then simultaneously, you and I both tweeted at each other the same breaking news.
But it's something that we both knew like 3 months ago.
It was one of the worst kept secrets in Detroit sports and all of Detroit soccer.
Danny Evans named officially the head coach of the Detroit City FC women. Of course, she brings a good pedigree along. I mean, last 3 years she's been the head of the women's indoor team, and they have known nothing. I mean, falling short of championships, but as far as success goes, I mean, you can't ask for anything better. Dominating at the field house, dominating in the regular season and whatnot. It's just sometimes those one-offs can get you. But nonetheless, I mean, a great addition, a great, great hire, I would say, as far as that goes. And taking over for Dave Dwahey, who has led the team for the last couple seasons to the USL-W playoffs. And I can't think of a better coach to coach these ladies.
To tell you the truth, I knew she would be the next head coach as far as, I would say, last season if Duende would have stepped down, which, we'll tell you what he's doing next. Well, we already know, but...
Well, Dave's doing side work for us as well as running soccer operations down at the club, down at the DCFC.
Yeah, I know, but let me tell you, it's a great hire. Her stats speak for itself. Been to the Final Four in the indoor soccer tournament 3 times. She's been the assistant for a couple seasons for the women's team, including the team that went to the Final Four a couple seasons ago. She brings a great prodigy. She was a soccer player at Stony Creek. She played 4 years at Oakland University. She was a player for the Detroit Suns in between. Her coaching career, she coaches Stony Brook, Riverview, Lincoln Park, the city, not the band, by the way. Great choice. And if you saw the introductory video, she's very fun to be with. You know what I mean? She's a busy mom. She has a mother of 3 to John Evans, who incidentally I learned was on the inaugural Detroit City NPSL team back in the day.
So John's got a legacy number.
Yes, indeed, my friend. So one of the early legacy numbers, and
one of the early ones, probably running either 1 through. Did he start that game?
I think so. If you start a game, you play for City. So,
or if you come in as a sub.
Yeah, and by the way, here's the interesting plot. She knows the players on the team. She coached them in she coached being the assistant on the women's team. She knows them. Everybody, literally. So that's a built-in right there.
Absolutely. And, I mean, familiarity is good, especially when you're playing in, what this is. This is not Super League or anything like that.
No.
This is like the summer league and all that stuff. And when you got players coming, back and forth and all that stuff, having a little bit of familiarity along the touchline makes a big difference. And I'm sure she can do the job really well. And I think the women's side is in very good hands at this point.
Yes, very, very good hands in this point, and we're all excited. Other than familiarity, I would say it would be easy transition from the arena indoor game to the outdoor game where there is wide open.
And she's had experience coaching both. So I mean,
Oh yeah,
I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue there.
it won't be too much of an issue. Now, the other big news today, and this got us proud here on Soccer Night
Our
Detroit.
friend of the show,
Yes, if you've seen the opening,
our mascot, our muse, Hannah Crum, named captain of Detroit City FC's women's side, and well deserving, of course. I mean,
uh,
ever since she's come from Midwest United, she has made an impact on this squad. And I'll tell you what, I mean, this girl works hard.
oh yeah,
She's tenacious. She's fun to be around with. She's an absolute joy to be around
We should know she did our intro for us,
with.
literally.
And I'll tell you what,
funny, and also she's funny too.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you the truth. I'll manage you. 6 months ago, when I saw the clip we start every show when she introduced us, we did a good interview about the game and all that. This was after the end of the season when she was MVP, the Golden Arrow. She's very serious about her soccer, literally.
Yes, yeah, a very focused individual as far as the game goes, and great leader as well. And I think well, Kayla's been the captain the last couple of years, and shout out to her. She's done a great job, and of course, part of the coaching ranks, here at Detroit City SC. So, I can't think of any, it's like just passing the baton.
You're right.
It's
You're
basically
right.
passing the baton over,
Yeah.
and
Her playing
she's well
have
deserving
been
of
the difference. She's from Quaint College, from the west side. It's 873 goals. You mentioned, which I did not know, she played for Midwest United.
it. Yep, originally from Midwest United. Yep.
Considering, when we have our girls here, we don't know the players on the other team, and we always say where they came from and all that. But when she came here, she's been a dog. 23 goals, 12 assists. She's a dog, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations to her.
Alpha dog as far as her game goes, and I'll tell you what, I mean, you can't have a better, more tenacious, focused player than she is, and she, as I said, she works hard at it. Every match she's out there busting her tail and giving her best for 90 minutes or whatever, and she does get the job done. Very very. And well deserving of winning the Black Arrow Award last year.
I know. And by the way, we saw that during the indoor tournament this season. She is a bulldog, literally.
Yeah. Oh yes, absolutely. And like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to have her as part of the Detroit City family. And I mean, I can't think of like I said, can't think of a better coach to have as your head coach. Can't think of a better captain, to have other than her. And I think she keeps that legacy going.
I know. And I'm going to make another prediction who I think could be the next women's indoor coach, arena soccer coach. We've seen that a lot of times with this person. I think Kaylee Addison will be the new indoor arena coach.
She's a leader. She's an absolute leader.
Mm-hmm.
She's an absolute leader with that squad, and I mean, she proves it every time she's out on the pitch. I mean, last year, she didn't put the production up as far as the numbers go on the outdoor side of the field, and I mean, she really didn't put the numbers up either this year. But just the presence and the leadership, alone.
And yes, there is such a thing as a player coach in indoor soccer. You don't see it out there.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of those going out there. By the way, shout out to San Diego Sockers winning the MASL Men's Indoor Championship. That happened about a week ago.
About a week ago. Being the Milwaukee Wave.
I guess the Milwaukee Wave, they won that series 2-1. So
they beat two of the Steinwacher brothers who was on there.
So, well, as we're getting set for the the wind down, the run in, and all that stuff in Europe. Let's scrap that. Let's go back to Saturday.
Oh yeah.
You can't think of a better game to watch or witness than what we witnessed on Saturday night down at Keyworth Stadium. That's probably one of the best games of the year, and probably one of the most fiercest games of the year that we've had so far.
It's a statement game, literally and figuratively.
And I would like to see the men get some points on the road. I'm sure they're going to get some good opportunities. Hartford might not be easy, might not be a little bit easy, but there's some opportunities along the way to get some points. For the men, hopefully they get something done. It's always hard to win on the road, as you know.
It is very hard. Yeah, you're right.
But Saturday afternoon, it was a heavyweight brawl.
Oh yeah.
And if you were,
Pretty
the two mascots for I don't know if you're aware of the two mascots for Louisville City, Butterfly and the Sting. They were coming out like
butterfly, think like a bee. Muhammad Ali, Louisville native, by the way.
Absolutely. They were coming out like Muhammad Ali on Saturday, to use that analogy. We were coming out like Joe Frazier.
Oh, yeah.
And, and we were ready. We were ready to pounce. We knew they're the champs. We knew they're the Players' Shield winners.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just came out there, tit for tat. We fired the first punch with the Yamazaki, which ended up being an own goal. And then, they come firing back with the Jansen Wilson set piece until Connor Rutz delivered the knockout blow with his header.
Yeah, and by the way, that put him third overall. All-time in the all-time goaling good behind Maxi Rodriguez and one Sean Claude Lawson.
He's got that many goals? Wow. Wow, I didn't realize Connor Rutz was up there in that ranking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, interesting enough. So shout out to him. Shout out to the Commerce Township native, and you know what? He has that tendency to score goals in big national television games.
Oh yes, it was on the CBS Sports Network, and he showed up big time.
And I remember 2 years ago, him Deacon Damian Laws on a game that was on ESPN.
It wasn't even close. Seeing that from the goal angle, he just geeked him by a country mile and then put it in the back of the net. Oh my God!
Talk about alpha dogs. We were talking about that about Hannah Crump, but this guy, he's a dog too because he comes out and plays, and he shows up. He works hard. I get there was some hate about not hating about him, about him being in the lineup, but this guy shows up. He brings his lunch bucket to work every day, every time he's out on that pitch. Whether he's being used as a sub, whether he's starting, he's one of the working class heroes on this club.
Oh, tell me about it. One of the originals from the old NPL or NISTA days. Remember the nickname we had, the NISTA All-Stars? There's not few of them left anymore.
There's not too many of them left, and he's one of them. And I'll tell you, you know what? The kids earned his stripes, and Danny Dicchio really loves him being in the lineup, and much props going out to him, especially the game day on Saturday.
And by the way, this is part one of a 4-part rivalry series. You could say it. We're facing on 3 other times. Once in the U.S. Open Cup here, and the 2 USL regular season games.
Okay, so, my question to you is, and I think I probably already know the answer. Is this a true derby now?
Yes, it is a true derby, a true rivalry derby, because of the closeness of. And don't forget, we also have a rivalry against the Indiana 11, another great rivalry, and also Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That's a true rivalry too.
Yeah, but I was asking this with I was supposed to ask that with Dave because Dave came on Big D Energy on Monday to talk about the game and all that. And I brought up the question, and Neil Rule, conveniently asked this as well, and he agrees with us. It is a true rivalry, especially considering the fact that you go down there last year, You pop them for a 1-0 victory in the playoffs. The Players Shield winners, by the way, where you have not won a game before. And usually when you think of rivalries, no good rivalry starts until you pop the other until you pop the other team at their home.
You're right about that, because a lot of great rivalry started with a big major incident, you know what I mean, or a big major game. Look at the Red Wings Avalanche. It started with a check in the board to grip paper and see where that rivalry is at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There was a good
and then next thing you
ESPN track,
know,
by the way.
yeah,
But
next thing
remember,
Darren McCarty, bringing his prey to the bench on fight night at the Joe. So
yes, I remember that really well. And remember, it started. We beat Louisville. We beat the number 1 seed for the second time in a row, although a different opponent. That was the deck that started a rivalry, and they came here. We have gotten a couple of great wins. This Saturday was one 2 years ago in there. I think, honestly,
and I mean, both these teams, there's a respect there, and there's also a tenacity there between those two. And Mike Watts was even praising the laurels of Detroit City the other night, and call it what he thought it was probably one of the better games of the year thus far. Watching that match.
Oh yeah, and I asked the question to Danny Dicchio. We did record it, but our mic went out.
Our apologies on that. Our apologies on that. We'll do better next time. We'll make sure the mics are on.
But he inside he said, well, we have a lot of games left. You know what I mean? But this game sentimented to both everybody in each, including the class of the league this year, Tampa Bay. We're not easy cream puffs. We're not like Monterey Bay or Lexington or Jacksonville. We're coming out to play very seriously.
They were talking about the because we'll do our breakdown in a few games when we reach the 10-game mark, but they were talking about this being the quarter pole and all that. They see 3 teams as the class of the Eastern Conference right now. That being Tampa Bay, Lou City, and Detroit City FC.
I know, but could they get over the middle frame hump? Because remember, we had our struggles in between 11 games when it was a 34-game schedule, and for the second year to go, a 10-game schedule. Sometimes
sometimes we get into that midsummer loot or that summer, shall we say, lull. We get into that summer lull and then get back into things and try to make things happen in September and October. Hopefully that's not the case this year. But let me go back to this thing here. So the history of the rivalry thing I found of the history of the rivalry. Louisville City's won 7 times. Mm-hmm. There's been 2 draws, and of course Detroit City's won the 3 matches. But I shouldn't say 3, Matt. I don't know if they should say. Oh, they didn't. Did they list that one yet? No, they did not. They did not list that one. Okay, so City has won 4 now. They have won 4 matches in this rivalry, including the 1-0 victory last year in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So, this is now like I said, this has probably become. I think we found I'm sure we found another rival. And of course, you go way back to May 18th of 2018, I think it is. 2018 or 2016?
2016, yeah, because like I said, before we were in USLC, we were in a PSL side, and we took Lou City to 120 minutes.
Yep, and then the second time around, we took them to 120 minutes again and lost in penalty kicks at Keyworth.
I know.
So, and there's only been 2, shall we say, bad spots in this whole entire rivalry. A 4-0 victory in the playoff in 2023 after beating Pittsburgh in the first round.
Yeah, that was our big time letdown. Literally, we
And
were
then,
hammered.
and then the next year, the first trip to Lim Family Stadium in 2024, 5-1 disastrous outing out
Ugh,
there.
tell me about it.
Yeah. But
It was not fun to watch.
no, it wasn't. Then we come
It's
back.
always not fun to watch when you get jumped 3-0 in the first half and 3-0, 4-0, and good night, Irene. It's all she wrote.
Yeah, and then we come back with the, after losing, two. I mean, one was a 2-0 victory at Lim Family. The other one was a 2-1 victory by them. Or no, 1-0. It was a 1-0 victory at home. And then we go in there, and Devin Amumensa scores the goal.
I know.
And we held on to win that one. So, you know what? This is, like I said, this is becoming. It's like the upstart, the team with the fan base is probably one of the most raucous in USL, going up against the standard bearer.
You're right.
I mean, I'd rank that right up there with Pistons Lakers, Pistons Celtics. Shout out to the Pistons, by the way, winning game 1.
Hey,
the Cavs
here's
last
the Pistons
night.
won again. The Pistons won again.
Yeah.
But back to the point.
Yeah, back to. But like I said, if Ric Flair said it best. If you want to beat a man, you got to beat the man. And regardless of what anybody thinks, when it comes to the regular season, the man is Lou City.
Literally.
And I mean, they are the standard bearer as far as that goes. They've won 2 championships. They haven't won anything since then, and I've been critical about that. You know this. How regular season success does not translate into the playoffs. They got to get that. They got to find a way to earn that 3rd star. I've been very critical of that. And Detroit became one of those teams that got in their way by winning that game last year at Lynn Family.
I will say this right now, it's not easy. Not easy.
Not easy at all. Not easy at all, definitely. Just ask FC Tulsa that. It took them 120 minutes, and then they lose on penalty kicks. And they were the 2nd seed. When you think about it. They were literally the 2nd seed, or the 3rd seed when you think about it, when you're looking at the overall picture. But I'm looking forward to June 20. I'm looking forward to, was it July 20th, I believe it is, right?
Yeah, that will be part of the either USL Tire Cup or the regular season. I think it's
the
USL
Tire Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the
That will be rockets as well, literally.
Exactly, and of course they're playing for a trophy at this point. So I mean, we don't enter the tournament until next month. So or later on this month, or is it the beginning of next month is when we enter the fray. No. We got a game against Ford Madison coming up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Fort Madison. Yeah.
Yeah, the home games don't start. The home games don't start until next month. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but. Yeah, that should be interesting to see there, and of course that's winning. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if there's going to be goals scored in that one.
Yeah,
because that's one of the tiebreakers in this competition, especially if you want to get a wild card spot.
Whoever gets the most goals, then we got nicked out last year by Hartford City.
Absolutely. Okay, I jumped the gun a little bit. Got confused with cities there. Let's talk about what happened Monday.
Oh, my God.
So, Arsenal won their game, and shout out to Arsenal for advancing to the UEFA Champions League final that'll be coming up in a few weeks' time. Their 2nd appearance in the title match. But Arsenal took care of business on Saturday. So all man said he had to do, even though they are still a game in hand and all that stuff, take care of business at Hill Dickinson Stadium. Looked good for a half a play. They were dominant, and then the wheels fell off.
Oh my!
3 consecutive goals given up by Manchester City, including a defensive lapse, which led to the 2nd goal. The 3rd goal ended up being off a set piece, and
Timo
Manchester
Werner
City
was
was down by a
involved in
score
that
of
one.
3-1. They came back, got 2 goals late, including at the death, but wasn't enough. They ended up dropping points over at Everton, and they are now 5 points behind with the game
Yeah.
in hand going into this coming week's action.
I know. They dropped points against Everton. Oh my God!
And
No,
Everton's not no slouch this year.
no.
They aren't no slouch, especially at home. They played Liverpool tough in their derby, and
Uh,
they ended up losing in that match. But this this Everton squad, they're no joke. I mean, they're not the laughing stock that they have been the last couple of years, and a very dangerous place if you were to get 3 points. And it was just mistakes that cost Man City this game, and they had to crawl back from being 2 goals down at one point
brother.
just to even salvage a point there.
Loan opportunity. I'll just
Very.
say it right now. Loan opportunity.
Mhm.
Oh,
And the echoes of North London forever have been, shouting out for the last couple days as
uh,
Spurs ended up getting a victory on Sunday afternoon against Aston Villa. And you know what? That game, the way Villa played, and you were watching the game, I was listening to the game, and I had to turn it off and switch to game 7 because it was just embarrassing for Villa. Villa just couldn't do anything.
tell you sure, I was watching Game 7, but
Yeah, well, I mean, until like I said, I was watching until listening to it until kickoff, and needless to say, it was just they come back and score a goal in stoppage time in the 6th minute of stoppage time, but the expected goals for them was .32 on the night. 5 shots, 1 on target, 9 touches in the opposition's box. This is a team that's battling for Europe right now, Villa. And to lose against a team that has been struggling like Tottenham, props to De Zerbi. He's won 2 in a row.
yeah, trying to survive, not going down to 18th place, which now now 2 points ahead of West Ham.
And West Ham's got Arsenal this weekend.
Oh my!
So that should be an interesting tilt right there. And but yeah, after and then West Ham dropped 3. They dropped 3 points the other day. They lost 3-0 to Brentford on Saturday, and they had the possession, and they were even in touches in the box and whatnot. But Brentford just came out, and the Harbinger came, 15 minutes in as Marvapanos scored the own goal, and that pretty much set the tone for the day for West Ham.
Oh my!
Yeah. Thiago on a penalty in the 54th minute. Final goal was scored by Damsgaard in the 82nd minute, and it was just a frustrating day for West Ham, especially being on the road, another London rivalry, obviously with Brentford, and it was like I said, bad day all the way around for that. So that's getting a little bit interesting on the bottom as well. You think it? Could you see it flip flopping going? Could you see it flip flopping?
Yeah, we have about a few weeks to go. So who knows? Either team could, and we documented last week how devastating if Tottenham go down. Not only will it affect them, but all of English football beyond.
Which I don't think it's going to affect it too much, to be honest with you. And a lot of people are salivating it. A lot of these smaller clubs are salivating the fact that they could see Tottenham go down. and they're thinking to themselves, well, this could be their chance to say, hey, we could get in there and be one of those clubs, to challenge for challenge for trophies and whatnot, play in Europe. But
Wow.
it's
Yeah.
just
Speaking of playing
it's gonna be an ongoing drama going into the last couple of weeks. Although Tottenham could they could get one or two more wins, they could end this thing. They could end this shall we say drama and save themselves.
I know. And before we move on, you mentioned about playing Europe. Guess who's back in the Euro next year? The other Manchester club, Manchester United.
Props to them. That win over Liverpool on Sunday puts them back in. We had them for dead. Literally.
Including myself, I would say I would not be surprised they would be in a relegation fight, but I'm totally wrong.
You think Michael Carrick is going to get the job?
He's going to get the job. They have to give him the job.
Yeah, he's going to get
And by the way, that was his third win in a row. And get this. Remember the guy who haven't...
I don't want to talk about him.
You don't want to talk about him?
I don't want to talk about him.
It could happen.
Besides, I got to get my hair cut as well. I'm getting mine today before he does.
Well, actually, I have not reached crazy hair level yet. So, yeah,
Oh,
I know you don't want to talk
why do you think I'm wearing a hat?
But I'm going to say, if it happens, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. But
Could
no,
we
needless to know, I mean...
three-way race in Scotland? Holy shit. I didn't see any of the games. I didn't go to the Celtic party because it was 7 a.m. in the morning and the buses don't run until 8. Oh, my. Yeah. It's getting interesting.
Yeah, it is getting very interesting.
And one team could be knocked out by the end of this week.
Hearts is on pace right now of possibly, if things go well, they keep up on the goal differential and whatnot. That game at Celtic Park to end the season could be a coronation for Hearts, and they would be the first team in, God, how
40
long is it?
years.
What?
Since 40
since
years.
Aberdeen.
Since Sir Alex Ferguson-led Aberdeen won the Scottish title.
It's been a long time because it's either been Celtic or Rangers at the top in the Scottish Premier League ever since then. And I mean, good on Hearts if they do it. They got all the right ducks in a row. They got the lead right now. They got a 3-point lead over Celtic. They also got the better goal differential. So that's two key things. If they don't drop their goal differential to Celtic, they could easily come out of Celtic Park the last day of the season lifting up the Scottish Premier League trophy.
Oh my, it will remind me when the Pittsburgh Penguins won the Stanley Cup in front of Detroit fans. Literally.
Yeah, exactly. And that was after we won the cup in their building a year before that.
I know. Well, Heart beat Rangers 2-1, and I was following along because there was no TV coverage on Paramount Plus, which is
a shame. Which is a shame. Especially, they're dropping the ball. They should be covering this championship battle because it's very, very interesting. Especially the story with Hearts there and all that.
I know, and Celtic, by the way, beat Hilberban 2-1.
Hibernian 2-1. Yeah,
they call them by the hips, So right now it's Heart 76, Celtic 73, Rangers close behind. Guess who's facing them this week?
The old firm derby, in which I don't know. I think there was a message that was sent at Ibrox: wear black. Are they wearing black to their own funeral, or are they wearing black because they want to be ICE agent wannabes?
I don't know. If we remember the last time those two teams played, it was brutal. It was during the Scottish Cup. It was ugly with a capital.
The ending was ugly as hell because they come out and it's their own doing. I'm going to keep saying it's their own doing because they're the ones that came out in the field and provided the shenanigans on that day. Because, I
Yeah.
mean, okay, grant you, a few Celtic fans got a little out of hand, jumped on the pitch in celebration. I don't condone that, but you know what?
Yeah.
It happened. So, but the thing was, they came on the pitch, you know, angry, angrier than piss and vinegar, and started causing trouble. Which,
Oh my God.
which Celtic is in the right mind not to allow the Union Bears to attend the match at Ibrox, or not at Ibrox, at Celtic Park.
You're right. You're right. You're right. The Celtic did request an allotment to be there, and it's left the Union Bears, which is their supporter group, was
Their
there. They
ultras.
said, nope, nope, nope.
Exactly, and it's just it's and Allie McCoy's went off, but it's like I said, it would have been a problem if they would have handled themselves in a civil manner, and they
I
did not
know.
handle themselves in a civil manner.
And security will be very tight around Celtic Park on Sunday because I, I'm surprised to read this. Every time Celtic and Rangers face off in either a league game, a cup game, there's massive security there because they don't want no trouble.
No, absolutely not, absolutely not. So,
Have you ever heard of a rivalry? And I know it got a little heated with the Red Wings and Avalanche back in the day. Have you ever heard of a rivalry? They need security around the stadium, around the city, to make sure nothing
I
happens.
remember the Celtics Pistons rivalries back in the '80s, and the Pistons Bulls rivalries back in the late '80s, early '90s. We never had to had that stuff going on.
No,
Celtics Lakers don't have that stuff going on.
I know.
But like I said, but that Pistons Pacers rivalry. We
After
remember
what
one. We
happened,
remember one infamous night from that.
one horrible night. That's the closest, or one of the rare occasions where violence fell out of the stands. And holy shit!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
So, but needless to say, few and far between here. But especially with that rivalry, anything can happen because those two bases hate each other's guts.
Do I have to come with that? Oh my.
Yeah.
It's just a game, people. It's just a game. Oh my. And then
Not when you got
soccer,
Catholics and Protestants going at it.
and in soccer treasure where you face each other twice, one at home and one away. Yeah.
Yep. It remains to be seen. But well, I mean, not just top division stuff going on. I mean, over in England, a lot of champions to be crowned as
Oh
well.
yeah.
Steve, we give Steve the honor to pass out roses to those who are moving up, and plungers to those that are going down.
All right. I'll start with the teams that got promoted championship currently already promoted to the Premier League. Ipswich Town beat Queen Park Rangers 3-0 to secure their automatic spot in the Premier League. And one person who we talked to, we couldn't record because our mic wasn't working. One Ben Morris, who played for the first time, and he's a proud supporter of Ipswich Town. So
I think he's also. I think he played for Ipswich as well.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right,
I believe so.
yes. Millwall beat Oxford 2-0 to clinch a spot. Well, they edge out Millwall, but they're going to be the top seed in the promo playoffs. Sure. Oh yeah. They Hull City won their game against Norwich to qualify for the last playoff bet. Wearing off Wrexham, who drew 2-2 against Middlesbrough. They finished one spot close to hopefully their fifth promotion in a row. But hey,
What's Ryan Reynolds more What is Ryan Reynolds more disappointed about? Blake Lively or Wrexham not moving up?
I will say Wrexham not moving around, but hey, he took it with class, knowing that there will be a take two next season.
Continuing on, those that made it up to from League One.
One. Lincoln City and Cardiff already promoted. Stevenson won 1-0 Wigan to keep their spot in the playoff. They beat out Luton and Plymouth Argyle, who, despite winning, missed it on a playoff spot. So that was League One. League Two, by the way, Bromley got promoted. And one of my favorite names for an English club, the MK Don got promoted to League One, drawing against Fleetwood. 1-1 draw, by the way. Love that name, MK Don.
Don't tell that to a Wimbledon supporter.
Oh, MK Don and Wimbledon don't like each other?
Let's just say MK Dons was the old Wimbledon.
Yeah, there's a long story. I don't have a long time to speak.
Yeah.
Also promoted in the Cambridge, Stafford, Nottingham County. Dave got promoted to the playoffs. And that is the teams that are promoted to League Two. Now, do we have that sound of a flusher? The double flusher? The devil from the Red Devil Plumbing Company have done his work, and he's saying bye-bye. I'll do League One first because relegated.
Those are the ones that are you going to do League? I thought you were going to do Championship first.
I'll do League One first, then Championship last. League One, Exeter, Port Valley, Rotherham, Nottingham, relegated to League Two. Now, in League Two, promoted to the Ocean of the Sea, Hardentown and Barlow, they are sent to the sea. That's below League Four, League Two, which is naturally north south. Nothing at stake on the Championship League because it was decided last week. Oxford United lost their game, so they're getting relegated to League One. But get this, the only team without a point deduction. And I know you're asking, what about West Brom? Were they facing severe penalty for financial, mismanagement? Yes, but it was decided last week. It wasn't a big deal, so they got deducted by 2 points. That's it, 2 points.
Interesting.
So they're in the championship for next year. Let's just see, oh brother, the collapse has been complete. They have been flushed to League Two. 10 years after winning
and the other one being Sheffield Wednesday.
Yes, Sheffield Wednesday. It was decided in February. Couldn't overcome the 18-point deficit, but they would have qualified. They would have been relegated. But here's some good news. They will not face a 15-point deduction after the club was officially been sold by an American consortium. I can't remember the name of the owner. So that was really good. And incidentally, they finished the season on 0 points.
Yep, and we got here's the video and all that, and a little bit of emotion there.
You're right, and then when they got the reward, they're not going to face an automatic 15-point deduction. They promoted their first deduction, 15 points, and it was in dramatic fashion. They're going to start the season with 0 points. Now that the club has
that's good news for them, and hopefully a better start for the Hillsborough base club.
You're right. And here's the good news. They have returned the classic owl to their crafts, by the way. Yeah.
Yes.
And if
we only know about one other club around here that has the owl.
Who's that?
That would be One Union Omaha.
Oh yeah, the owl like that.
By the way, with our friend of the show, Pato Botello Faz.
Yes, you're right. By the way, I want to go back to the National League. The teams that were promoted to League Two, and this was very close. Both teams had 100 points. York City had 108 points. They get the automatic promotion. Rochdale finished 2 points shy at 106, but they're gonna play for promotion against. This is an interesting name, Boreham Wood FC. They're facing on in Wembley for the finals on Sunday. So here's your playoff for Championship to Premier League. Hull, Millwall, Middlesbrough, and Southampton. Hull will face on Millwall. Middlesbrough will face on Southampton for the chance to go up to the Premier League. In League One, Stevenson will face on Stockport, and Bolton Wanderers will face on Bradford for the opportunity to go to the Championship League. And in League Two, Grimsley will face on Salford, and Chesterfield will face on Nottingham County to go up to League One. And that's it.
That's it. That's it. And
it is always fun for the last day of the league, and if you don't follow the season for the last year, go to FOMOP, look at the point difference. If they're winning 3, just favor that. You'll follow,
Absolutely, and they'll and it's going to be the beauty of promotion and relegation is you see the good teams that are on the rise, and hopefully that they'll do well and continue on their journey, and then you see teams that have their struggles and end up their journey ends up continuing on the opposite direction, much in the way of Leicester City, for example.
Yeah. Things have changed in 10 years. You win the Premier League, and because of financial mismanagement and fan reception and poor play, they're now in League Two. They're in the 3rd division. Oh my, League One. And we're going to face on that when promotion and relegation start with the U.S. Premier League. By the way, before I get to starting on
the U.S. Premier League.
Yes, you're right. USL Premier League. Excuse me. But before I start, 4 games today before Saturday till New Mexico, El Paso tonight. Birmingham against Miami. That's a good one on Thursday. Colorado Springs against Orange County, top of the West, and also Lexington against Monterey Bay.
4 games already. I mean, 4 midweek games, and and there's only like 9 games on Saturday, including Hartford.
You're right.
So a big, busy week for USL soccer, and a good thing that the CBA has been figured out and everything like that. So we're blessed for soccer. In fact,
and Denver and Mike were talking about the CBA on their USL All Access show.
Yep, and
surprise,
it's a great deal, and I'm glad it's done. Yeah,
surprise! They were talking about it after not talking about it for 2 months. So,
well, you can understand the fact that when you got people on both sides of the issue, it's kind of hard to say anything if you're in that position. We have people on both sides of the issue. However, we're not contractually binded by either Detroit City or the USL, so we're free to talk about it.
You're right about that.
So, and it's a good thing that everything's settled. We can have soccer during the World Cup. We can have an alternative to those fans that feel shut out by MLS. MLS is done, and I believe after the 23rd.
They will be thinking about the World Cup.
Yep, MLS is done after the 23rd.
And
they don't come back until mid-July, and then they start talking about Leagues Cup.
Yeah.
So we'll be the only game in town.
I feel like Brooke and Matt Hardy say we get the stage all to ourselves.
Yeah. We don't get the stage all to ourselves but for the soccer fan who feels shut out by World Cup ticket prices, just go down to your local club and watch a game. And as opposed to last week when we had that epic matchup at Keyworth, probably one of the better, one of the top 10 games of the season.
Yeah, don't get me started on the World Cup. That's a disaster and a half. I tell you, the World Cup from hell.
So, all right, we got to get some things off our chests here. So we're going to do a little thing called Sorry, Not Sorry. I've got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about it.
Just brother.
All right, Steve, you want to get your thoughts out?
I'm going to defer it to you first.
Oh, okay. So, all right. So, last Saturday was Derby Day here in the States. Here in where, Louisville calls their home. They don't play at Churchill Downs, but you know what I mean. So, last Saturday was Derby Day. And to me, it's the sports version of the Met Gala. It is literally the sports version of the Met Gala. People come in their fancy dresses and their fancy tops and all that fun frou-frou, frill BS to watch horses go around the track for 2 minutes. Drinking all the mint juleps and all that. I've never had a mint julep before, and from what it sounds like, I don't want to have one. Um, but, grant you, it's the most, probably one of the most popular events in the world. For the people of Lou City, they basically get shut out that weekend because of a 2 minute display or a 2 minute horse race, a little day or a day at the track, But they get shut out. This year they had to come to Keyworth and face Detroit City in probably one of the most epic soccer matches, and we've been talking about that, one of the most epic soccer matches of the year. But needless to say, and I've talked to people that are Louisville City supporters. They don't like the fact that all these people are coming into town and invading their town and all that stuff, and they would much rather stay outside, stay inside, be hermits that weekend. Because, as I mentioned, it's the Met Gala. Everybody dresses up to the nines for some stupid little horse race in which you don't know if that winner of that horse race is going to be racing in a couple weeks in Pimlico and racing for the Triple Crown. There hasn't been a Triple Crown winner in what? I don't know how many, 8, 9 years?
Yeah,
and before that was like 40?
Yeah, you're right. Before that was Secretary in 73.
Well, no, it was, I think it was either Seattle Slew. I think it was Seattle Slew or Firmed, one of those two. Because they had back-to-back, kind of like back-to-back Triple Crown ones. Yeah. Nonetheless, I think the last time, I think we had back-to-back Triple Crown winners as well.
I know.
But the thing is, you're celebrating something. Okay, the horse, grant you, okay, history was made, first woman trainer, all that fun stuff. You don't know if that horse is going to be racing in a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. You and I were dressed like schlubs on Saturday at Keyworth Stadium. We have a proof picture right there.
Yeah,
and we loved every minute of it.
I know. That's the reason why I tell my family I'm comfortable dressed as a slub, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
And you know what? That was the me dressed in my piston teal. You dressed in whatever you brought it. You know what? And we were covering a soccer match, and I'll tell you what, that was more exciting than somebody coming from the back of the pack all the way to the front to win the Derby. And making history in the process. But like I said, you don't know if that horse is going to be showing up in a couple weeks. We know our boys are going to be playing Saturday night. And we know we got 3 more chances to take on Louisville. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I got to tell you, one of my great memories, I remember when the Triple Crown streak was broken. I was over at Old Harry's bar watching it on television because everybody.
I was watching it in Milford.
Yeah, I was watching. They were at the man. I had to stay for the actual race when the Triple Crown was finally broken at Belmont, New York. And after that, I went to the soccer match, which was over at Cat Stack back in the day. And yeah, but we all dressed as a slub. And the most fun part, when I went to Hazel Park, I dressed as a slub too, wearing my jeans, my shorts, my t-shirt, supporting my bands or sport teams, just to enjoy the day of horse racing, which we don't get anymore now that Northville and Hazel Park is long gone, unfortunately. So
soccer's a growing sport. Horse racing's a dying breed. They're getting rid of Aqueduct.
Yeah, I heard. Oh my!
There's only going to be racing at Belmont Park from here on out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know. Oh, brother. All right. Well, this is a but like we mentioned about the last Saturday in the EFL, we like to congratulate everybody who either have gone up here to the Premier League or League One, League Two. Especially congratulations to Chelsea, Ipswich Town, Lincoln, Cardiff, let me go back, Bronley, MK Don, York City. They're going up either to the big show or one step near the big show. We wish a lot of bands like Rochdale and Hull and Millwall and Middlesbrough and Stevenson, Stockport and Bolton, Bradford and Grimsley and Salford as they're going to play for that golden ticket to move out. But I always thought when you meant golden ticket, you mean you would get a sort of like a golden ticket. Yeah. But honestly, like what we saw, if we tell here's the video there, they get a perpetuation trophy, a trophy to finish second place, and no golden ticket. You're not taking cue from the NCAA, which during tournament time of every sport, when every time you advance, your teammates grab their college name, slap it on the bracket, saying we're moving up. But no golden prop, golden ticket? What the hell? I know it's cheesy or something, but hey, come on. You're playing for the last golden ticket, and you're saying, hey, congratulations on winning the promotion playoff. Here's your trophy. Trophy for finishing sixth place. And we beat the top two teams, and then no golden ticket. It should have put a description sort of like Willy Wonka. Congratulations, you just moved up the Premier League. Now you have to prove yourself of the most exciting league in the world. But I'm a little bit disappointed. They're missing out on a great opportunity to have fun saying, hey, you're moving up. But if you ask Burley, they have a golden ticket if they ever use it as a prop for every other year. Move up and then move down to the championship. So, golden opportunity missed or golden opportunity avoided. That's all I have to say.
It'd be interesting if Wonka ended up sponsoring that in this mad sponsor world that we live in now. That would be a great opportunity for Wonka, the Wonka company or whoever owns Wonka right now. I don't know that'd be a great marketing opportunity.
You're right. There is actually a Willy Wonka brand, not tied to the movie, but tied to the movie, but
yeah. That would be an interesting. You would think they would capitalize on that. That'd be just suggestive marketing there. But yeah, handing the trophy out. It's like I didn't know they made ninth place trophies.
I know, and next year is going to get even harder because they are expanding the promotion playoff to not one team but two more teams. There's going to be six, and here's going to be done.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be
fun. It's going to be third and fourth place will get the bye. Fifth and eighth place and the other two middle teams will battle out, winner take all to play in a two-leg playoff. Then Wimbledon finals.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun and interesting. But this Saturday we got Hartford, big match there for Detroit City FC. We'll see if they can alleviate their road struggles on that one. 7:00 ESPN Plus for that one. A rarity, a game that's not on the CBS Sports Golazo network on the road for Le Rouge, but. I'm sure you'll be at the clubhouse for that, and then we'll break things down Saturday night.
I'll be at the club. I'll be there at the clubhouse. Let's hope they do really well. So
yep. So
very excited of the Musings.
Yep.
With good news around and all that.
Yes. So, but we will talk to you on Saturday for Soccer Night in Detroit, previewing Hartford and Detroit City. For Steve over in Hamtramck.
Have a good time. Spring is about to break, although the weather doesn't show it very yet. And welcome to Detroit, the new PWHL women's team in Detroit.
Can't wait for that. And the draft's coming as well.
I know.
The Fox. So,
I know.
and for me, Mad Cat here at the Hacienda, saying, keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the galaxy, and most of all, be good.